I'm Mark McAllister, live from Buffalo, New York, here in the Walden Galleria, where shoppers have certainly come out in full force as part of Black Friday on the U.S. side of the border. Finding Canadians here in the crowd, though, has proven to be a little more difficult. A number of factors at play. There are health risks. The COVID cases here in New York are much, much higher. There are certainly some restrictions still at the border as well, and some costs associated with that. And this is all while people are actually trying to save money. No matter the obstacles, Michelle Thompson and her daughter Alyssa were not going to miss a cross-border shopping trip from Hamilton on Black Friday for the world. So you wanted to get back at it despite the fact that there are rules in place? Why?
Absolutely. We just love the products in the States more than in Canada and have missed it. This is an annual thing. It's fun. We really enjoy it.
Restrictions for non-essential travel to the U.S. were lifted November 8th, with the caveat that Canadians still need to provide a negative COVID-19 PCR test result within 72 hours in order to return. That requirement will now end on Wednesday, allowing the shorter visits without hassle. For now, some have chosen to find a way and pay the price for a test while looking for bargains.
Going back to Galleria Mall because they have a testing center and it's cheaper than going other places.
Yeah, it's $125 each and it's 24-hour turnaround, so it's not that bad.
The influx of visitors to Buffalo and Niagara Falls, New York so far has been slow, however, with traffic still estimated to be 2.5 times lower than 2019 numbers over the last couple of weeks. So now a major effort to lure people back and bring in much-needed Canadian tourism dollars.
You know, our proximity to Canada has just been so important to our overall tourism economy for years that over the last 20 months of the pandemic, of the border being closed, we estimate that we've lost nearly $1 billion in overall economic impact of Canadians coming into Erie County.
COVID case counts in Western New York are on the rise, with a total number in Niagara and Erie counties alone equaling that of all of Ontario, leaving Canadian health officials to warn against making any trips.
And so my advice is this is not the time to be starting to resume travel to the U.S. Maybe for, truly essential purposes to travel, but definitely not for shopping, definitely not for recreating. I think we need to give the U.S. some time to get the COVID situation under control before we resume travel there.
Still, there were a few Canadian shoppers that did decide to take the chance and look for Black Friday discounts, knowing that it's going to take a while before regular visits resume. How long do you expect it will be before Canadians come back at the numbers that they once were?
The statistics we're looking at, we're very confident by Q3 2022, we could be looking at 2019 numbers.
Are you finding the deals you're looking for?
My mom's spending the money, so.
Now, all that said, I don't think that these malls were missing Canadian shoppers at all. It was certainly very busy with Americans loading up for the holiday season throughout the day as we were here.
Well, hey, Mark, great to join you from studio. It looks like you had a pretty busy day, but of course, it's still a pandemic. What kind of health precautions are being taken?
Well, it's interesting. The observation here in Buffalo right now is that they've just brought back the mask mandate for indoors. And so we have seen people wearing the masks throughout the mall that we're standing in now. This morning, however, when we were in Niagara Falls, New York, the Niagara County doesn't have a mask mandate, and so there was people walking throughout the mall without their masks on, didn't have to wear them to get into the stores either. So very interesting contrast between the two locations.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure plenty of Canadians are hoping to eventually cross the border again soon. What was that experience like for you crossing the border today?
First thing this morning, we drove to the border to get through, and actually there was no lineup whatsoever. Very little wait time to get through. When the U.S. Border Patrol agent asked us about vaccination, it was just a simple question. It wasn't, show us your proof. So that was very interesting. When we had a chance to talk to one of the families as well, they had said they weren't even asked about it, despite the fact that that's a requirement to get into the U.S. at this point. We'll have to wait and see in a couple of hours when we return home what that experience is like.